No camera produces videos. And wait, before you come for me, gather your village people. Let's talk about it. I know you think your camera produces videos at the end of the day, but the fact of the matter is that is not entirely true. As a matter of fact, what you're watching right now is not entirely a video. So let me explain how that works. Cameras produce images, pictures, and not videos. Now, those pictures are captured at a certain frame and processed together to achieve motion, which leads us to why videos are called motion picture. So if a camera captures pictures, why then is my mouth moving at the same frequency with my voice? The answer is very, very easy to understand. And the answer is what is called FPS. Frames per second. Frames basically refers to pictures. So when you hear something like 24 frames per second, what it means is your camera is capturing 24 pictures in 1 second. 60 frames per second is 60 pictures in 1 second. So what happens is, for example, if I want to stretch my hand, from my hand leaving my chest to the stretch, a lot of motion is involved. So what the camera does is it captures all of that motion to that stretch, puts them together, plays them together, and it becomes a motion picture. Have you ever seen a flip book? You know those books that they draw images on and then flip the book, and as they flip, you begin to see the image as though it is moving. The faster they flip the book, the faster the image moves and you see it perform an action. Those images remain still forever. However, the way it is drawn frame by frame and the speed with which it is flipped produces motion. That is the technology that brought us cartoons in those days, and it's also the technology that brought us videos. Your frames per second, your FPS, is very crucial and essential to the quality of your videos at the end of the day. Now, how do you decide the right FPS to use? If you're shooting a film, the required or cinema standard frame rate is 24 frames per second because it is a lot more natural. However, I know some films that were shot at 120 frames per second. But 24 is the standard for cinema. 30 frames per second is the standard for social media, Instagram, TikTok, and the likes. And then if you want to slow down your motion, if ever you're going to slow down the motion in your videos, do not shoot below 50 to 60 FPS. So that by the time you slow down the motion, it will not be draggy and sluggy. It will be smooth because the camera captured more frames. So the higher your frames are, the smoother your slow motion would be at the end of the day. So have that at the back of your mind. Say, for example, you're shooting a film at 24 FPS. When you get to portions of the film that you need to slow down, you use 60 frames per second. Or better still, if you are stubborn like some of us are, you can just shoot your 60 frames per second and never give a damn about what anybody says. Well, now you can thank me. Follow for more tips on filmmaking, cinematography, and content creation.